For the second day in a row, a Senate committee heavily involved in the Kerry-Boxer bill is taking on climate change. Yesterday, the Energy Committee heard testimony about the potential economic effects of a cap-and-trade plan passed by the House. Well, today, the Foreign Relations Committee discussed the current effects of climate change around the globe. Clean Sky's Tyler Suiters was at both of these hearings and talked to senators from both committees about the Kerry-Boxer bill. And Tyler, there are a number of crossover members here.
Right, Susan, and by crossover we mean senators who are on both the Energy and Natural Resources Committee and also the Foreign Relations Committee. For those 5 senators, this was the second straight day, as you mentioned, Susan, of addressing climate issues, and the entire time the yet-to-be fully introduced Kerry-Boxer climate bill is hanging over these discussions. Now, there are 3 Republicans among those 5 that sit on both of these committees: John Barrasso, Bob Corker, and Jim Risch. All 3 have the familiar Republican complaints about the Kerry-Boxer bill. That is, they are very dubious about any form of a cap-and-trade system, and they want to push for new nuclear incentives to build out the industry here in the U.S. And talking with Bob Corker, I tried to find some sort of scenario under which he might potentially support the Kerry-Boxer cap-and-trade plan. If companies like Alcoa, TVA, your home state entities, came out after negotiations on Kerry-Boxer and said, we can work with this, is that enough of a sell for you?
No. I mean, I'm not going to support a bill because a few businesses tell me that it benefits them. I mean, if you look at this bill, it was designed, if you look at U.S. CAP coming together, it was designed to create a mechanism for a few businesses to make a whole lot of money, more so than they would have under another system. So, no, it would actually not have any effect.
Remember, U.S. CAP supports a cap-and-trade. Bob Corker, huge on the idea of a carbon tax if one of these has to be put into effect. Now, at today's Foreign Relations Subcommittee hearing, Corker said, quoting, "The thing that bothers me about climate legislation, at the end of the day, it's all about money." But he went on to say that there is no question that we have global adaptation issues regarding climate change. Now, the 2 Democrats who sit on both energy and foreign relations, one is Bob Menendez. He is a subcommittee chairman. He was chairing today's hearing on the global effects of climate change. Another is Jeanne Shaheen, and just yesterday at the Energy Committee hearing, I heard Senator Shaheen cite RGGI, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. Her state of New Hampshire is one of 10 states taking part in RGGI, and I asked her if RGGI, in her mind, has been successful enough so far, or a good enough model for her to support Kerry-Boxer as it stands right now without those further details. With that in mind, is it fair to say that you are on board with the Kerry-Boxer bill, or you need to see the final details?
Well, I think we still have a lot of details to work out, and I'm certainly going to be among those who are going to try and work to make that bill something that we can get through the Senate and get legislation through Congress so the United States can take a lead in Copenhagen and in moving to a clean energy economy.
Now, an honest assessment of what Senator Shaheen told me, Susan, is really that she hasn't committed yet, or at least doesn't from what you hear there in that particular interview. But she, I expect, will vote for this bill, and this is part of the dance, Susan, that goes on before the votes are counted. And in all fairness, this bill hasn't been introduced in its complete aspect just yet. But Senator Shaheen, I'm quite sure, will come around and vote for Kerry-Boxer when it does arrive.
So, Tyler, the Energy Committee passed a bill of its own over the summer. Is there any momentum that the committee members in favor of Kerry-Boxer, any momentum they can build on?
I think that's a good question, Susan. You're talking about the American Clean Energy Leadership Act, ACELA. 15 out of the 23 committee members on the Energy Committee voted in favor of this. So there was bipartisan support. Members crossed party lines to vote for or against this bill. Harry Reid, we expect him as majority leader in the Senate to bundle that energy bill with the climate bill, whatever version of Kerry-Boxer emerges once all the committees have had their say on the markup process and if and when they pass it through. But one senator I spoke with who sits, again, on this crossover situation on Energy and Foreign Relations Committees, Jim Risch, says that even the passage of the energy bill and putting them together, it doesn't make Kerry-Boxer any easier to swallow in his mind. Are you disappointed in the majority leader's plans to bundle the energy bill that passed out of your committee along with the climate bill that's coming out of environment?
Well, you know, I come from a background where in our state, and I spent almost 3 decades in the state legislature, we had a constitutional prohibition on bundling anything. It was one subject matter, one bill. And it's very difficult to deal with these because you're always voting for something you really don't like or voting against something you really do like. There's no right answer on the votes, and it's frustrating. It's very frustrating.
And at last check, Majority Leader Harry Reid had promised that that vote would be coming to the Senate floor sometime before the end of the year. Now, 2 straight days of hearing on climate issues, but let's face it, the big hearing, at least the highest profile hearing, begins October 27th in the Environment Committee. This was just announced this week by Barbara Boxer. EPA Administrator Lisa Jackson, Secretaries Chu, Salazar, LaHood will be on hand. Susan, also FERC Chairman John Wellinghoff will be there. Not sure how many surprises we'll get from the Environment Committee members about this, but the big guns will be out in full force, and you can expect the Obama administration to push hard for passage of Kerry-Boxer there.
All right, and we'll be watching for that. Tyler Suiters, thank you.